Welcome back to another review. I have the Venus WK16 in today for testing, and this was sent in via Xtar. If you notice, my voice is a bit different. I've had a bit of a flu issue, so we're just going to try and get over that and move on to the review. Now, looking at the box with this, you can see they've put quite a bit of information on the front there. Perhaps you want to pause that and read that. It just gives you a general overview of the product. This is really aimed as a sort of affordable EDC type carry light. We're just going to run over the box contents so you can see that in a bit more detail. You can see we have the 3 power levels and a strobe. It doesn't list out the power for the AA, but it looks pretty close to the medium and low. You lose that top setting, and this is the box contents taken out. You can also get this torch with just the torch minus the battery and charger, and you get the hand strap as well. That's another option for you. You don't have to get this pack. And looking at the battery that's included is a 14500 600 milliamps hour, and this is the MC1 charger. I did a review on the MC1 Plus. This is the same thing, except it charges at 0.5 amp. You have the micro USB input. You just get a shorter cable with this version over the retail version. It does exactly the same job. You can also use this for other batteries as well, the 18650s, 26650s will be at 0.5 amp, and you get the basic wrist strap and a spare O-ring that is also included. Now, looking at the body design, they've gone for a tactical look with this. I've put the specs out on the screen for you. You've got an anti-roll design. The build feels perfectly fine. It feels decent, good quality, bit of knurling, nice strong retention on the clip as well. You can take that off if you want, and you've got a decent tail clicky switch which is recessed, so you won't accidentally press that. It takes a bit of pressure to push that as well, so I can't see accidental activation being a problem with that. So pretty happy with the design. Looking at the LED, it's an XPG3 and it's a textured reflector. Can't see any anti-reflective coating on the lens, and just a quick test here showing you that it's anti-roll even if you did take the clip off, and pretty stable on the base stand as well. Nice enough little design, I quite like it. It's a bit longer than some of the other 14500 torches. The threads are not anodized on the base cap when you take that off. Probably not a problem because you have a mechanical switch for the lockout anyway. You can see the spring there, and there's a flat contact point inside the torch. So put the cell in. As you can of course use AA cells with this, the normal 1.2 volts. Tighten that up. As far as the operation goes, pretty much dead simple on this. I put it on the screen as well. You get the single press on and off, and then you half press to cycle through the power levels. You just cycle quickly through those. If you leave it longer, like a couple of seconds, then it will remember the last setting that you're in, but it also has the strobe in that setting as well. So I would prefer it if they had like a double click for the strobe mode, but that's a minor point to make on that. So really very simple operation on this. Nothing to really complain about at this price point. Now compare it to the S1A baton from Olight. This is a side switch, more expensive. You don't get the lithium cell with this, you just get a disposable lithium battery with it. So it's definitely a bit bigger than that, but it's still pretty pocketable, and I put the user manual on the screen for you to have a look at in case you want to look through that. And there's your warranty period, customer service stuff, etc. I do this with all the reviews just to give you a bit more information in case I've missed something. I didn't see any problems with the water resistance test. And there's a quick comparison with the batteries. If you're using the larger ones like the Olight at the top, they're a bit too big. So the standard cell that you get with it is, the newer types tend to be smaller. You can see here the termination charge on the included charger, no issues. And the battery came in a bit higher than the quoted spec. Most of the new cells that I'm looking at with the 14500s are pretty close to AA size, even if they're protected. Now we go from the high level down to the low mode, just the 3 power levels with the lithium cell. And you won't really see the bottom level. We'll do some more beam shots of that later on. Compare it to the S1A baton. This goes up the power levels, so it's slightly higher output, but not really that noticeable. You see a slightly different beam pattern with that TIR optical lens. And now onto the nickel metal hydride. It doesn't seem to be any different from the medium setting, and the low setting seem to be the same on this. The Olight again is rated slightly higher for the AA, using a nickel metal hydride. There's not a big difference in output between these two, but you have more power levels on the Olight. We'll run through my beam shots now, and I'll come back at the end with a few thoughts for you.
to see my mother, and I'm going there, no more to roam. I'm just going over Jordan. I'm just going over home. And I know dark clouds will gather round me, and I know my way is rough and steep, but golden fields stretch out before me, where weary eyes.
Just a quick note on the strobe mode, it's more of a fast beacon than a rapid fire strobe. I'm not really sure if that's a problem, but it's worth a mention. So overall, yeah, it's a pretty much a decent quality, no frills torch. It's aimed at someone who wants something affordable. You still have a pretty good power output on this, very similar to the other torches that I've used. A few compromises, you don't get as many features. Power levels, not as many of those, just the 3 for the lithium and 2 for the nickel metal hydride. Don't really see that as a huge problem, but would have liked an extra power level for each. Maybe that would have given us a moonlight mode. Also would have removed the strobe from the main power cycle. That's usually something which tends to annoy me slightly if you don't want to use the strobe. Would have preferred maybe a double click on that. And also make sure with the 14500 cells, if you get additional ones, that you get the newer types seem to be coming in at shorter, very close to the AAs. You can use slightly longer ones, but the OLite one, which I showed you earlier, that's too long to use with this torch. Not a big problem, I wouldn't think. So for what it does, it's a no frills torch. It does it quite well. There's no huge wow bang features with this model. It's affordable, it's well built, but it actually does a decent job overall. So thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to have a look at some of my other videos, and I'll catch up with you in the next one very shortly.